and welcome to this edition of Business Supes, where we interview successful local business owners, learn a little bit about them, their business, and of course, their business superpower. I am joined today by Josiah Wiens from HOTWORX. Josiah, welcome. Thanks for being here.
Hi, thanks for having me on
You're
here.
very, very welcome. So let's jump right into it. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your business? What's your origin story?
Yeah, so HOTWORX is a franchise. So I'm not the founder of HOTWORX by any means, but I am the founder of the location at Third and Frankfurt. So over there, we got connected. I got connected with HOTWORX through another gym. I used to own another gym out in Broken Arrow, and I had a member came in with this HOTWORX shirt, literally this exact one. And I was like, hey, what's HOTWORX? Never heard of that before. And she just stops and sets her stuff in and goes, let me tell you. She walked through this whole process about how it was hot exercise. You do HIIT workouts, you do mobility and stretching, you do strength workouts, everything done inside of an infrared sauna. And at the time, I was a huge sucker for infrared saunas. I love what they do and the health benefits there. And I remember always thinking, well, that would be such a cool concept to have exercise being done in the heat and infrared. And so that was done. And HOTWORX was born back about 6 years ago. And so I got connected with it about 2 years ago originally. And then from there, my wife and I invested and bought into the franchise, spent some time. We were looking for our location. As we were doing that, and this became so much more of a powerful thing, my dad actually had gotten in a very severe car accident and used HOTWORX as a part of his recovery to now, and even with a replaced shoulder, he's as mobile as he could possibly be in his shoulder.
Wow.
He has almost entire full range of motion. You're usually limited with the replacement, like you don't have
Right.
physically range of motion, but he's as good as he can possibly be with that. He still works out 3 to 5 days a week. He does stuff at HOTWORX, and because it's isometric, zero impact, and cardio, he can do it. And so,
Right.
me in getting open, and then eventually he invested in the business later down the road. He was like, I want to become an investor. I love this. And
Right.
so that was how we really got into opening. And so we officially opened in the summer of 2022. So we went through pre-sale, went through the whole process, and got open, and here we are today.
Awesome. So I'm assuming you have some history or some experience in the working out. Are you a trainer? I mean, what's your background there?
Yes. So in terms of fitness, so I started my business side in fitness about, it was about what, 7 years ago, roughly. I had been I'd been in fitness, so I'd known fitness, but it was more on a personal level. I got certified as a personal trainer like 7, 8 years ago, something like that, and then got a job with the gym that I eventually bought into as an owner. Excuse me. So I eventually bought into a gym out in Broken Arrow here in
Hmm.
Oklahoma, and worked my way from being a trainer that kind of set my own hours and did not know anything about how to run and operate a business to eventually being manager, buying into it. We took the business from 400 members when I had started there to over 1,500 members
Wow.
when I sold it. Mm-hmm. And
Very
so
nice.
massive growth, great success. And so that was initially my introduction to fitness. And since then, I've continued to learn and educate myself. And of course, there's never one right way within fitness. It's a fun thing,
Mhm.
but it's learning of multiple methods has really allowed me to be more malleable with my clientele, my customers. I have people that come in and they're like, well, I really want to get strong and get big. And they're like, but you only have 50-pound dumbbells, like up to 50 pounds. And I'm like, let me tell you, I'm going to humble you really, really quick here. You have other people that are terrified and they've never touched a weight in their life. And they're like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, hey, easiest place for you to start, let's do some hot yoga. We just start getting
Mhm.
into it. You do some more basic work, work your way up, and eventually, before you know it, they're doing, hot bands workouts, they're doing total body hit cardio, and they're like making growth and improvements in their fitness dramatically. And so it's really cool to see.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's always nice to see people make progress and see
Mhm.
the results of their efforts. So that's really cool. So you said that you all grew that gym. I mean, it sounds like you pretty much what 3-4x'd it. So how did you all do that?
Mhm.
Because I mean, that's a pretty competitive space that you were in.
Yes. So, I mean, there's a lot of, obviously there's so many factors that go into like, how did you grow? Like, obviously there's advertising and marketing that has to be done, but if there's no logistics behind it, or if the initial experience is great but the longer term experience isn't, so I could probably just make a paragraph's worth of lists, like what actually caused us to grow. Because I remember we hit many plateaus. We hit like a 750 member plateau. We hit 1,000 member plateau, 1,200 member plateau. I remember these times where we were sitting there and we'd gain 10 members, but also have 10 cancellations in that same time. And the attrition rate would be about the same. And we're like, okay, what do we need to do? What are the reasons? And so I would say it came down to paying a lot of attention to the customer experience and to
Okay.
really deliver not just deliver what we said we would do, but to say that we're going to do this and then do this. So we would say, hey, get your first month of your membership for $1, was like in our marketing. We knew,
Right.
probably 50% of those are definitely going to fall off just right away. They're going to be like, hey, I just wanted to trial it. We kind of
Right.
knew that right off the bat. But then we were like, well, what if we could increase that to where only 30% fell off and we catch their attention? And so we introduced what we called the first step. And that was like, hey, not only do you join, but then you get a private sit down with a coach to like help you set your fitness path. Well, we improved it right away. We added new options or new equipment, or we added like our feedback methods to where we could hear from members, hey, why is it that you are choosing to quit? Was it based on
Hmm.
this, based on this? And so we just continued to refine. And I think that comes down to that phrase: you define what you want, you take action, you measure the results, you refine your practices, and you take action again. I think that's how we 3-4x'd the business. And whereas we may have 3-4x the membership base, we 10x the revenue. They were doing 10,000 a month in revenue. We nearly hit 100,000 in revenue
Wow.
by the monthly.
Yeah, that's
And
impressive.
so we grew through so many factors. There was very, very little personal training, no guidance, no structure. The
Mhm.
sign up process was different for 5 different employees, 5 different sign up processes. So we
Right.
systematized everything. We invested more in marketing. We trained our employees, continued team training. So there's a lot of things that go into that to grow the
Right.
business. But
Yeah, no, that's fantastic, and I love hearing that because so often business owners will struggle trying to find customers, and then if they find an avenue that works, then they don't have a documented systematized process to convert those customers into clients, and then keep them
right.
around for a longer term. So I love hearing that you all were able to do that. So you
Mhm.
said that HOTWORX is a franchise, which I think
Mhm.
anybody who's driven around has seen that there are more than one location in the area. What made
Yeah.
you decide? What is it about the franchise model that you like? Are there some things that are benefit for folks out there if they go and buy into a franchise?
Yeah. So, I mean, if I could actually go back to that point where I was about to make the decision, I would actually personally choose not to have gone forward. The whole reason
Hmm.
I would have chosen that is because I want to be able to drive a speedboat, and working with a franchise is more of a steamship.
Right.
And so, if you've never run a business before, a franchise is great because there's a lot more structure than if you do it yourself. But if you've done it yourself and you're working with a franchise, you can butt heads with people on a pretty regular basis. And me being a person, one of the reasons I'm an entrepreneur is because I don't want to work for other people. I cannot stand working for other people, and call it arrogance or whatever it probably is. And I need to work on that in myself. But working for other people, it's always easier when you're working for someone else to look and see, I would do so many of these things different.
Right.
And so within the franchise model, I can see that, I have a different background in marketing than what does the marketing department for the franchise. So I've been doing marketing for Tulsa, like in this area now for 10 years plus. I started my first business way, way long ago. I was doing marketing for a music studio, and
Okay.
was growing that like crazy. And we were doing great. I understood how to market to Tulsa, and they come in and they're like, "Oh, this has worked in some major metropolitan area, so it's going to work for Tulsa." And we're like, "We'll give it a shot,"
Right.
and then it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And
You gotta
so,
know your customer. That's a big part of marketing,
oh,
definitely.
absolutely, absolutely. And so they know their customer, they know who their customer is, but the avenue that they're taking isn't getting us in front of them. And
Mhm.
so, and then the expectation is there from corporate. Every franchise is different. There's a lot of franchises that they're like, this is the business, keep within the brand, don't care how you market. Would
Right.
love that. But HOTWORX is very, very hands-on with the marketing, the materials, the advertising. So I can't physically touch our ads for HOTWORX. So like I'm
Right.
not physically allowed. I have to pay another company to do a mediocre job on the marketing. But then I give them feedback. And so slowly but surely, we're slowly shifting ours to where it's eventually going to be there. But like I said, I like to drive a speedboat, and that's a steamship. So if you
Right.
want that stability where it's okay, cool, we're not going to fail and we're not going to like collapse, but we need to move in the right direction here, it's a great choice for you.
Franchises can be great for somebody who's just starting out because they do tend to have all of those systems for you. So,
Mm-hmm.
what have been some of the challenges that you faced in owning your own business?
Oh goodness. Big one. Working with city government permitting, licenses, taxes. Like before you start a business, I would set up, or not even before, like if you have a business, I would like meet with an accountant and a tax attorney and a business attorney and a real estate attorney, like meet with like as many people as you can to line out as much of that as you can. I didn't have to
I
deal with
didn't
this.
have
My
to deal with
partner,
my
um,
partner.
yeah, my partner in my old business, uh, he, they launched and did not collect any sales tax for the first like 3 years.
Ooh,
Yeah. And but he didn't know. We don't think about that when you start your business. You're
right.
like, I have this amazing product, or I have this amazing thing I want to do for people. And then suddenly some person from the government walks in and goes, "Hey, where's your sales tax permit?" And you're like, "My what?" And you're like, "Well, you need to pay me money in order to operate your business." It'd be a shame if somebody came and shut you down like that. And so, we're dealing that with another business with our co-working space. We had something that this was a little bit different. It was previously
Mhm.
approved, and a different person from a different department came in and was like, "There's some things that aren't quite right. We're not going to let you guys operate the coffee shop of this business." Well, the coffee shop was a major marketing tool because we
Mhm.
didn't have the drop ceilings to their specs that they wanted.
Interesting.
Meets all the requirements, fixes everything, but they're like, "Well, no, it has to be like this, and we don't have your plans in with us, so you actually have to like stop operating that part." So we're like, "This is going to be an expensive pause." So
Yeah.
that would be
Uh,
the number one piece of advice I could give is well, the top two would be that one. And the number two is know your finances better than you know your product
yep.
or service. Yeah, and don't QuickBooks it, write it out in Excel and make it painful every time you have to look at your money, be like, "Oh man, this is like the stuff that separates people that make thousands of dollars and millions of dollars is going to be the people that pay attention to their finances more." Because
Yep. Nope.
ultimately, if you forget your finances, it doesn't matter. You can still be poor while making lots of money.
Yep. No, that happens. I see business owners all the time who are like, I got a $3 million business and I have no money at the end of it. So yeah, there's a lot of truth to that.
Yeah, all the
So
time.
what's the outlook? What's the outlook for the rest of 2023 and going into 2024? How you feeling about where your business is going?
Well, so in the fitness industry, this period is it can be really good, very, very lucrative, but definitely leading into the new year is a huge season for fitness.
Right.
Um, on our end, what I've been working on is improving our lead magnet, as we call it. So the reason why people are coming to us for information, and so we're writing out like a whole book that is like it's the guide from step A to Z, and it's like here's your nutrition, here's workouts for you, and if you're using our system, here's how
Mm-hmm.
you should do it. So there's a whole chapter in the book that's just going to be dedicated to HOTWORX
Nice.
and using our system. And the whole purpose there is going to be they're going to take it whether they join or not. It's going to be branded with our location, our studio, our HOTWORX, and someone's going to see that and be like, "Oh, well, that's really cool. I love that. That's nifty." But it's still of value to them, even if they don't join with us. So we're
Right.
giving them like, hey,
Giving
use
away
these
value.
workouts.
Yep.
Exactly. So we're almost completed with version 2. Version 3 is going to be the one where we really scale it up big. But version 1's been a great success, a lot of use out of it. We only gave out about 20 copies initially of
Mm-hmm.
version 1. Version 2, we're going to do about 40, and then version 3, we're going to we'll print out 1,000 copies, stick it on Amazon, publish the book, all of
Nice.
that. And so that should be pretty fun. But I'm hoping that will be completed. Oh, goal by like November 15th.
Very nice. All right, so just a couple more questions here, and we'll wrap up.
Yeah.
The question that started this whole thing: what would you say your business
Mhm.
superpower is?
I would say our business superpower is the 3D training method. So that is the combination of heat, infrared energy, and exercise. It allows you to get more workout benefit in such a short period of time. So infrared isn't just going to help you burn more calories because it raises your resting heart rate and therefore you're burning calories that way, but it activates cells and proteins that help your body with recovery and repair. It's going to help lower your blood pressure. It increases your dopamine levels just by exercising in general. And because it's 24 hours led by virtual instructors and you have 12 different workout options and a weight zone, there's like no better combination for especially for the average fitness enthusiast. If you're just looking to stay healthy, get in shape, you can do it in as little as 15 minutes at a time. So it decreases the barrier to entry because you don't have to figure it out by yourself, and it increases the value that you have. You can do a halfway decent workout and get high level benefit from that. And then the more you learn, the better the benefit becomes, and it all just keeps scaling upwards. So
Very
that's our
cool. So
superpowers, the 3D method that works together.
very cool. All right, so I got to go back to something you said at the very beginning. You said that was the
Mhm.
literal shirt that the client was wearing. Was that like her shirt, and you like stole it from her,
No, it's
or?
not her shirt.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, I was
I
like,
apologize.
there may be a
No,
story there.
she won this shirt from a studio competition that was at another studio. So the first
Okay,
one
gotcha.
opened here in Tulsa in 2018-ish.
Hmm.
And they were actually under horrible management, and they got bought up by the current owners now, who have turned that place around like crazy, which just
Wow.
goes to show it's not the business, it's the management of that business that makes or breaks
Right.
it. But she was there with the old and with the new management, and she won a competition with the new management. And she came in wearing this shirt. And we had a policy at my old gym: if you came in with a fitness shirt from somewhere else, we would give
Uh-huh.
you one of our shirts and be like, hey, go change and give me that shirt, and I want to give you
Right.
our shirt. We had so many cool designs for shirts. We just did that as a fun thing. But I asked her and she said, no, I'm not going to give you my shirt. I want to keep this one. And I was like,
That's
whoa, hold on. And so one of the many things that prompted me to go take a look. And but this is just one. We carry these in stock at our studio, and this is
nice.
the one that I got when I first bought the franchise.
Very cool. All right. Well, Josiah, thanks so much for taking some time today to hang out with us. Tell
Yes,
us a little
sir.
bit about your story and HOTWORX, and of course, sharing your business superpower with us.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Eric.